Hillary Clinton, that is quite a notorious person, more and more it seems to be, claims that this surprised me, shocked me a little bit, that she came out and said that the so-called GCC countries, that's the Gulf Cooperation Council, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Qatar, and Kuwait, they have the obvious right to send its troops to Bahrain. Well, just a minute. What's so obvious about that? My understanding of this agreement, this Gulf Cooperation Council and this agreement that these countries have, is that they support each other, defend each other when there is an external force that comes from outside and attacks these countries. This is an internal uprising of the people themselves.
First of all, she's a foreign minister of the United States. And United States is always off the track when it comes to human rights. Look, I think your views must know the whole situation is Bahrain. Bahrain is in the middle of this little,
peninsula, or
but no, it's in the Persian Gulf.
Gulf, yeah.
Some call it Arabian Gulf, some call it Persian Gulf, depends on who's talking. So let's call it Arabian Gulf. Now, that Gulf is the center of lots of oil export. Okay, they're sitting in the center. The population, 70% Bahraini population, they are Shia Muslims and have very great sympathy and affiliation and religious affiliation with Iran. The rulers, because at that time when they took over, Iran was not so strong, so rulers are Arabs. So that is one point. The second thing is that it has always been under autocratic regimes which have no respect for human rights, no respect for people, and they have always been oppressing Bahrainis. Now when the Bahraini population got up and want to have civil rights, human rights, why shouldn't they have it? Why it is okay for the government to suppress revolt in Bahrain and it is not okay in Libya?
So oil contra interest in humanity.
And geopolitical interests are very strong there because America and Saudi Arabia do not want a strong Iran because Iran doesn't listen to the West. They're very proud people, they want to have independent foreign policy, and they told America, get out from here, keep your hands off. And America cannot leave that area alone. There's too much at stake. So it is okay. And I will give you an example. You have heard about Roosevelt, American president. He was asked by some of his advisors, how come America is supporting some dictators in Latin America and others not? So he said, some son of a bitches are our son of a bitches. It means if a dictator supports America, he or she is allowed to do whatever she likes. But if a dictator or an autocratic ruler shows eyes to America, it's not acceptable. Look at Fidel Castro, look at Venezuela's President Hugo Chavez. There is a lot of other American leaders who actually were elected democratically, there were schemes against them, and they were trying to...
And this was Franklin D. Roosevelt you're talking about, right?
He said, there's our son of bitches.
This is quite a criticism of him, isn't it? Huh? Because he's saying, we don't like sons of bitches, but if there are bitches, then you're saying that then they're okay.
This is his statement.
This is a double standard. It's shit. I have a lot of respect for Franklin D. Roosevelt, the New Deal, and all this other stuff. He's been absolutely a great, probably the greatest president in the last century.
But it's the same thing with Obama.
This is a very blemishing part of his history.
Look at Obama. He came on a platform of change, right? You and me and everybody.
Franklin D. Roosevelt has done a lot of good. Excuse me, but Obama hasn't done any good.
I agree with you.
I'm sorry. There's no action from him. It's all in the mouth.
Yes. What I'm saying is, let's take him on his word. He came on a platform of change, help the poor people, have a good foreign policy. He has started more wars than the Bush did. He has killed more people outside than the Bush did. When American presidents say one thing and do another
So
thing,
Franklin D.
it's
Roosevelt is
expected.
1,000 times better than Obama.
Well, we cannot compare because they came in two different times.
Yes,
Two
you can
different
compare
people.
them.
It's
One
very
person
different
did a
compare.
lot of great social
He
stuff.
did, he did,
okay.
absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
okay. It's okay for us to have different opinions, right?
Of course.
Right? a little
That's
bit anyway.
discussion.
Hey, all of this stuff, a lot of this stuff we're talking about here has been completely silenced in the media. Why?
Again, which media are we talking about? If you look at the Russian TV, if you look at the Iranian TV, if you look at the Pakistani TV, if you look at the Turkish TV, you get another picture.
I'm glad you're mentioning this.
Because I see those things every day.
But how many people in the United States and how many people in Europe watch these internet world television stations?
First of all, they're not interested. Second thing
But it's
is,
there for anybody to open up.
It's true. But when you are brainwashed thoroughly, when your mindset is built through media that we are a superior nation, we are a superior people, then other people's misery doesn't look nice.
The Western ideology of superiority.
It is a mindset.
Yeah.
It is a Eurocentric and ethnocentric way of looking at things. But if you look at BBC, if you look at CNN, and I tell you, even Al Jazeera, which used to be a competitive TV station to CNN, even they have started doing the same thing as CNN is doing.
Is that because they are financed by
Qatar.
the regime, the Qatar regime?
Yes. When I look at Al Jazeera now, and I look at Al Jazeera from 2 years back, there's a huge difference. Especially in this Middle East uprising, especially the Libyan conflict, they are covering it exactly like CNN does from a European Western perspective, because it is situated in a place which is now siding with America. So that is one thing. Second thing is, Qatar, together with France, is the second country which has recognized the opposition as the legitimate regime in Libya. So it says to you a lot what is going on under the table. Have you ever heard that there is a regime which is legitimate, which has embassies in every country in the world, which is member of United Nations, and all of a sudden an opposition comes up and countries start recognizing them? It will be the same thing. For example, if in America, the blacks in America go say that we want to take over southern part of United States, we want to have our own republic, do you think that America will allow that? Tell me honestly.
That's why they had the Civil War in the United States, was to prevent that.
Exactly. Every country does.
I think we have to move along a little bit here.
Go ahead.
Anyway, we already you mentioned I think, didn't you mention the drone attacks in Pakistan a little while ago? Anyway, let me just continue on that theme here. What do you think? To what extent are the drone attacks in Pakistan a question of war crimes or crimes against humanity?
The problem is that under Musharraf, America made a pact with Pakistan that they will consult with Pakistan where they want to attack and which targets were there. And it was mostly to attack Al-Qaeda and the top leadership of Taliban, and Pakistan said yes. But America has gone way beyond that. They have started attacking now Pakistani territory and Pakistani areas and killing civilians.
Hey, but the permission they got originally, you're saying, to go for Al-Qaeda was also in northwest Pakistan.
Yes.
That was okay, right? That was also on the ground in Pakistan.
Absolutely. Look, as long as when you consult the country involved and say, we have this target, this is information, can you verify that? So we go after them. That America has stopped doing that now. They do not consult Pakistan. They attack anywhere they want. Situation is so bad that the Pakistani military chief have threatened.
Not only threatened, they have attacked and blown up trucks.
Pakistan's military chief, who's very cautious person, he has publicly said two things which is amazing. He said that, first of all, America's policy in Pakistan is such that they want to remove Pakistan's atomic assets That is their one policy. Second thing, he said that these drone attacks are unacceptable, and if it continues, we'll shoot them. The third thing, that it was so bad that Pakistan's ISI chief went to America, to Pentagon.
What is ISI chief? What does that mean?
Inter-Services Intelligence. It's like Mossad, or CIA.
CIA, yeah, okay.
It's a very, very powerful institution and very effective. And they have had a meeting with American head of the CIA and Pentagon and told them, this is the situation, this is unacceptable. We want to know everybody who's in Pakistan now, from CIA and from all those people who have been making problem there. So this is the situation now. I believe that when two governments make a negotiation and come to an agreement, then they should consult with each other and don't go and attack. It would be the same thing, for example, if Mexico starts sending drone over America to protect somebody.
Now they're going to send drones over the American-Mexican border, the Rio Grande, in order to fight, what do you call it?
Drug lords.
The drug lords. So they're getting close. Hey, some of these things that happened in these statements from the military about the drones, was that something that happened after this recent release of a U.S. spy and Blackwater mercenary
Yes.
who murdered unarmed civilian Pakistanis?
Yes.
So that was the thing that tipped it.
That was the thing which tipped the scale.
Yeah, okay.
There are many, many CIA people in Pakistan. Some with the cooperation of Pakistan government, but America took advantage of that and sent lots of people through Blackwater, as contractor, who actually was shown were spies. When Davis was arrested, when he shot two innocent people on the street in Lahore, and America said he was a member of American embassy.
Yeah.
It's nonsense completely.
The guy's a mercenary, Blackwater mercenary.
Later, it came out that he was a CIA agent.
Yeah.
And then Pakistan put him in prison. America demanded immediate release. Pakistan said no.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they made a deal that America paid money to the families of those who murdered. But that tipped scale so badly that Pakistan threatened to stop all the cooperation with America.
Okay, now what does this mean for, what impact does this have on U.S.-Pakistani relations?
It's broken to the 0 point now. That is
So
why,
what can happen?
Well,
can you give a concrete example of
that
what can happen now?
Well, America invited the Pakistan military chief and ISI chief to Washington last week. They had a meeting and Pakistan said to them, these are our demands if you want our cooperation. If you want that we should do all those things that you're asking us against Al-Qaeda, against Taliban, we'll do that, but these are the conditions, And I think that it will take very long time to build this confidence again. And I think, but at the same time, you should remember that 80% Pakistanis do not like American policies. They have nothing against America or American people, but the policies, as you say, double moral and hypocrisy that they have taken upon themselves and killing people.
Isn't there a great difference in what the public means in Pakistan and what the government and the military means? They are absolutely quite different.
I think that the military and public are in sync, but not the government.
The military and the
Pakistani military respects a lot what public thinks.
But not the government.
The government is very much in the pocket of America.
So how does the government and the military, they're always clashing?
They're not clashing because Pakistan military is extremely professional. They don't go around people and shooting them, and they don't shout and scream. What they do is they have a meeting with the president and say, this is our decision and we want you to implement it, and they do that.
Hey, I'd like to just, we have to, probably running out of time here, but anyway, to what extent, another topic, to what extent is Iran a threat against the U.S. or against the interests of the U.S.? Can you mention any threat to the United States or the interests of the United States that Iran has?
Look, first of all, Iran have said repeatedly that they have no desire to produce atom bomb, they have no desire to threaten anybody, they have no desire to attack anybody.
How do you know if they're telling the truth?
Well, it's exact. Then I can also ask the same thing, how do we know that America is telling the truth? You see, it is...
They've proved they're not.
That's a different thing. My point is, look, let's take it an example. America has put now anti missile shields in different countries against Iran. They have said that. Okay. Now, first of all, Iran does not have any technology to produce this kind of missile. Second thing, do you think that Iranians are so stupid to throw one little missile somewhere and then expect a massive retaliation from America?
That's right.
Does it make any sense?
Yeah, even a chicken could work that one out. Hey, let's go on.
So Iran is not a danger to anybody.
Right. What about Turkey? I've been thinking for a while. Turkey's application for joining the EU. Hasn't Turkey lost its interest? Is there any real interest in Turkey?
Totally.
Do they have any real interest, economic interest in even joining the EU? They have the best economy in Europe of any other European country. Why in the hell, excuse me, why do they even want to?
They're not interested anymore. I tell you,
They don't care.
I have been to Turkey 6 times last year and 3 times now. I'm going next week to Istanbul. I have met the president of Turkey. I have met the deputy prime minister. I have had discussion with a lot of NGOs, with ordinary people. They are not interested in being member of European Union as the European Union wants, as a second-class membership. They don't want that. They have said very clearly, either we will be full member or we are not interested.
Right now, I'm even asking you, even if there's complete equality in the EU, why, if there's no, I can't see any economic good reasons for them getting economic advantages for joining the EU. Even if they were for completely equal and fair and everything, even then. So, to me, they would be smart if they just dropped the application.
No, but there are 2-3 things in that. First, Turkey physically is part of Europe. Some part of Turkey are in the European continent. No, just a minute. Second thing is...
So is Russia.
Second thing is that Turkey has applied already. It's not that they want to do that. They already. And the third thing is Turkey is in the middle of Asia and Europe. It is in the interest of Europe actually to beg Turkey to stay in Europe.
There are being philanthropists that will do a good deed for Europe, but even especially for how many millions of Turks are there in the EU or in Europe?
About 7 million.
7 million. They could do it for their sake.
They're already doing that.
For their sake, to help them out. But really, there are no other real economic reasons for them.
I'm not talking about economic reason. There are historical reasons. There are political reasons. And Erdogan, the Prime Minister of Turkey, in February wrote a big article in Newsweek where he said very clearly, he said, if Europe doesn't want to treat us equally, we are not interested in being part of Europe. We will like to be member of European Union for different various reasons, but not economically, because Turkey at the moment is the 6th largest economy in Europe, 17th largest economy in the world. They have nothing to gain. Actually, Europe have a lot to gain. This is what he said. And I'm sure. And then another thing.
I think I agree.
Another thing that Turkey, in one of my speeches in the conference, I said Turkey will be better off to make alliances with Pakistan and Iran.
You said that?
Yes,
okay.
in a conference on Turkey's future.
Okay.
And I said, and many people agreed with me, because Turkey, Pakistan, and Iran will be 380 million people with atomic power, atomic protection, military protection, oil, highly developed industry in Turkey. What do they can?
Hey, this guy, this Norwegian, is he a Nobel Peace?
No. He never got a Nobel Peace.
He should have gotten it.
Wow.
Well, he's absolutely. Anyway, he has predicted many things that have happened. I mean, amazing. And one of even the fall of the Soviet Union and other things. Anyway, he has also predicted that the countries from Turkey, Iran, Russia, India, this area here is the central. Maybe it's from Turkey all the way to China, right? With India. This is where the growth and the economic development will really take place. And the United States and Europe will be in the periphery, and become more and more irrelevant, as he says.
That is why they don't want
Irrelevant.
that. No, but if you look at all the policies the West is making, West, when I say West, is Europe and America, all their policies are geared to avoid being second class in the world economy. China is catching up. China is the second largest economy, okay? And India, Russia, and all those countries are coming up. And I'm sure, as you say, it's a bigger market there than it is here. And money flows where there's a demand. And the problem comes again that, and I'm sorry to say that,
Iran will be in the center of this.
It's coming. The problem is that we in the West, I don't mean you and me, but the people in the West and the governments and the elite are used to so much luxury that they cannot accept the fact that anybody could challenge them. So that is why the mindset in Europe and the West is, if somebody challenges us, we will destroy them and try to maybe make more factories to produce more than to let people have prosperity. That is how I understand things.
Hey, what is your perspective on Afghanistan and the war that's going on there?
America will have to run away with their
tail between their
legs, because Afghanistan has never allowed anybody to go under. Never.
Genghis Khan didn't.
Nobody, even Alexander, from Alexander.
You know, sometimes I'm thinking that the tribal system may be even superior to modern society.
I think so too. Really.
I mean, they are strong, aren't they?
They are strong. The loyalty, the solidarity, the help for each other in a tribal system is much better. And look what has happened Africa. Until they had this tribal system, there was no war, there was no problem. There was small conflict, but there were no wars like that we have today. And then there come the white man and cut everything into diagonal, and we have the problems. No, I hope, and this is my big wish and my desire and my request to the Western leaders and whoever, that if we want peace in this world, we have to treat everybody else equally. We cannot have the cake and eat it too. That cake is too small now. We have to cut it more pieces so that everybody have a piece of the cake. Europe and America had enough of this cake. Actually, they are fat and ugly, so they have to share that with somebody which need that more than the West does.
You know, this famous quote that you come with, Marie Antoinette, right? You can't have the cake and eat it.
No, if your starving people can't have bread, give them biscuits.
Right. She actually said that. She in words she actually said that nobody should starve.
Yeah. Well, somebody complained to her that people are complaining that they're starving, they don't have bread.
Well, give them
so
cake.
She said, if they don't have bread, give them cake.
Some people might say, let them starve to death. They deserve it. What cannot stand will fall, so let it fall.
Well,
this is a capitalist principle, and Marie Antoinette was even better than the capitalist system.
But that is survival of the fittest. But the problem is that those people who are starving, they're going to eat. And if they don't get food, they're going to eat somebody else.
Hey, that was your perspective before Marie Antoinette on Afghanistan. The tail between the legs and the.
They will run away from there because Afghanistan, first of all, cannot be controlled. Second thing is the people are fiercely independent. And thirdly, why is America there? There is no Al Qaeda. If they are maybe 200, 300, 400 people, or how many they are no threat to America, they're not threat to anybody. Why are we there? Instead of bombing people, you can make networks there. You can educate people, you can make school. Why doesn't America, through Pakistan and Turkey, make negotiation with Taliban and with other tribes and sit down and try to work out a solution? You cannot bomb people to sanity. You can't.
Right. Do you have any thoughts on what the consequences or perspectives might be for countries in the coalition forces threatening all these countries, invading all these countries? What are the consequences for your adopted Denmark?
Well, I think that first of all, I simply do not understand a country which is called Denmark, which used to be a beacon of hope, of human right, of civil obedience, all of a sudden has become a Lilliput dictator. All of a sudden they start showing their muscle which they don't have. Why it's needed that we act like a poodle for America? We are an independent country. Our jets should not be bombing anybody. Why is Denmark in Libya? Why isn't Denmark in Afghanistan? Why is Denmark in Iraq? What is the sense in that? What is the rationale? There's no rationale.
What consequences will it have for Danish economy, mind, the attitudes?
Well, Danish economy is already in doldrums. There's a lot of problems.
Right.
And I think that all this money we've spent on buying F-16 and all this big equipment, stop buying that. Use that money.
Otherwise, it'll be the end of the Danish welfare system.
Exactly, that's what is happening now. Instead, the Danish political system should use that money in education, in research, in scientific research.
It's exactly the same thing with America. You could say about
America
these
is
things, right?
bankrupt now.
Right.
America
right.
has
Stop
nothing
all of
now.
these wars. Put it into education. Just like Dennis Kucinski has said, stop all this stuff. He even said that you should impeach Obama. Yeah.
Well, I will not go so far, but the amazing thing is that America today owes almost $5 trillion, $2 trillion to China and rest to the lot of other.
America has some great printing machines. They can print money forever.
How long?
Forever, as long as there's paper.
What happened? What happened if other countries stop buying dollars?
Well, goodbye.
Look, Chinese currency is very valued now. I'm sure that euro, which has some problem, it will come out again. There's other countries. What will happen if all of a sudden people in the world say we don't want dollars?
Yeah, what will happen? You tell me.
The whole system will collapse. America will go bankrupt, and there will be riots in America. Believe me. I heard the other day Louis Farrakhan, the chairman of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
He's a preacher. Sometimes he says things like me which irritate people. But he said very clearly, he said, there will come a time when we'll have to eat our own dollars.
I hope they taste good. They don't want to put some interesting spices on it or something. Anyway, hey, listen, we got to move on again. You have written something about this. Is Gaddafi a mad dictator, or is he an invention? This mad dictator that he has been assigned to, the label he's been given by the West. Is there anything to it?
No. Look, you remember before the West attacked Saddam Hussein, what kind of terminology was being used? He's a little Hitler, he's a murderer, he's madman, he's megalomania. Exactly the same terminology I noticed about Libya and about Gaddafi. How come that every time a dictator or a leader disagrees with us, we start using this terminology against them? This is a terminology of demonizing people before we attack them.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are to your people. Do you know how much good Gaddafi has done to Libya? When he took power, Libya was one of the poorest countries in the world according to United Nations figures. Today, average income of a person is $15,000. Okay? And it is 48 GDP-wise, 48th country in the world.
And how many? There are over 250
They're over
50 countries or something like that?
Exactly.
Okay, so they're up relatively high on the
All
scale.
the infrastructure, the roads, the schools, the buildings, they didn't have water, so he actually dug a lot of wells and found a big lake of water in the desert and brought that water to Benghazi and Tripoli. There have been enormous development under Gaddafi. Let's say that he was Hitler. Let's say he was a dictator. All those things which he has done for his country, what by the way Saddam also did in the beginning of his rule, is it all zero? Doesn't it?
The
make-
living standard in Iraq under Saddam Hussein was
Was much higher.
one of the highest in the whole Middle East.
Exactly. But that is what the West doesn't like. And under Gaddafi, look, he may be a ruler who doesn't listen to anybody. He may be a person who has oppressed some of his people, and this is horrible. Nobody should do that. But again, to paint him and demonize him into an evil person, I think this is very unfair and unjustified.
You mentioned some of the internet television stations like Russia Today, like Iran TV, Press TV, and you mentioned some other ones. There was Al Jazeera
Turkish TV, Pakistani
and,
TV,
and so forth. Anyway, I've also seen this. I watch these all the time, and I love them. Nevertheless, I heard on Russia Today, I mean, nothing's perfect, you know, there's always crap on some of these stations and everywhere. There's even good stuff on, once in a lifetime, there might be something on Fox News that's interesting and has some relevance, you know. Anyway, there was, on this Russia Today, there was some military expert analyst who said that, yeah, please tell me if there's anything to it. He couldn't understand why such a rich country as Libya was unable to raise the living standard to just a decent level, which is, it would seem to me, this is the exact opposite of what you're saying.
Well, the problem is that it is very easy for people outside Libya to sit in an armchair and make commentaries about the country. I have relatives who have lived in Libya and worked there, you know, and they say that the rate of development and the prosperity from the King Idris' time till today is like sky and earth. It's a huge development. Materially, you know, you can get free education in Libya. You don't have to pay anything. The healthcare is free. You know, they even give you a loan to buy a car and buy an apartment. How many countries can boast that?
Okay, this was a lie. This is one of the
Yeah, of course.
one of the things that are wrong.
Of course.
Okay, so we have to
There are
be
people
no matter what we're watching, saying you
We
have to be critical.